This, my friends, is a solution video, a daring expedition where no one has charted the course before. Join us, share your opinions, and let the adventure begin. In the sacred pages of the Bible, Yahweh emerges as the one true God, the cosmic architect who breathes life into the heavens and the earth. His divine favor alights upon a chosen people, the Israelites, as he crafts the very fabric of the world. Yet, as we delve into the depths of translation, we encounter two formidable challenges. Firstly, the absence of the letter Y in ancient Greek raises the question, is Yahweh truly Greek? Secondly, the lack of a W in Hebrew challenges the very essence of Yahweh's Hebrew roots. The Old Testament, etched in Hebrew, and the New Testament, inscribed in Greek, grapple with the translation puzzle, navigating the enigmatic letters Y, H, W, and H. With only the letter H to work with, both languages had to come up with a game plan. After some intense behind-the-scenes discussions, they pulled a move and settled on the name Yahweh, crafting it out of thin linguistic air. Reminiscent of clandestine discussions led by Charles Hapgood, attempting to elucidate Antarctica to Albert Einstein. With each debunking, Hapgood conjures even more audacious explanations, weaving tales of polarity shifting and beyond. The Piri-Reis map, initially thought to reveal Antarctica, unfolds a different narrative. It displays Australia, a masterstroke in the art of cartographic deception. Our discovery takes flight with a coin bearing the effigy of Yahweh, seated regally on a chariot with wings, accompanied by a bird whose beak betrays its identity. It is not a falcon, eagle, or hawk. Could that bird on the coin be a messenger pigeon? Imagine the ingenuity ancient communication through these feathered couriers. A marvel of advanced thinking, unfortunately silenced by the sands of time. The messenger pigeon are native to America, which is a part of the Pacific. Etched before us are the enigmatic letters Y, H, W, and H. Now, cast your gaze upon this Moai head hailing from the enigmatic Easter Island. Could it be that Yahweh, too, emerged from the Pacific? The absence of the letters Y and W in the ancient scripts of Greek and Hebrew fuels this intriguing mystery. Delve into this coin, a relic from the 4th century BC, whispering secrets across 2,400 years, compelling me to seek answers not in the familiar Middle East, but amidst the currents and cultures of the North and South Pacific Ocean. My journey, fueled by the wisdom of pyramid builders' routes, reveals a revelation if these ancient Pacific dwellers could erect cities and pyramids superior to Europe's, then a vessel to conquer the mighty oceans was well within their grasp. The grandeur of cities can be proven by the 1521 letters from the Spanish invaders and their accounts when first seeing Tenochtitlan, describing it as the most beautiful city they had ever seen, but it didn't stop them from destroying the city. Meanwhile, in Indonesia, another explorer named Ferdinand Magellan was doing the same thing around the same time, when he turned from explorer to colonizer, burning down indigenous homes and killing indigenous people wherever he landed, but ultimately met his timely death when he tried to invade the Philippines and kill the local people. Magellan claimed one of his men could kill 100 villagers with ease. Francisco Pizarro, the leader of the Incan invasion, and Ferdinand Magellan today would be called murderers and belong in the same sentence as Osama bin Laden. The 1500s, dubbed the Age of Discovery, whisper a darker truth, an age of colonization. Yahweh is well known across the Pacific in ancient times, especially with Polynesians today. But in the Pacific, Yahweh's name is pronounced much differently. Along with Yahweh, they acknowledge deities as well, for example. They acknowledge the ocean guardian, the forest spirit, the air we breathe, the seasonal changes, the planting of vegetable timing, the sky father, earth mother, the underworld, and more, and most importantly, they understand that there is the creator of all things. In the Pacific, the letters Y, H, W, and H are used here phonetically to make sound, as in Greek and Hebrew it doesn't fit and we know that they made it up. Phonetically, the Y is sounded as E. It's also the same way the letter Y is sounded throughout Asia. W, H, and W are sounded as Hall. So when the four letters are combined, it is pronounced as E-Hall, translated as he that is. What captivates my attention are the parallels in the translation of the word in the Pacific, where Yahweh or E-Hall signifies he is, and in the Mediterranean, where it translates to I am. My interpretation of this is a straightforward expression of normalcy. I am normal, and he is normal. To delve deeper into the intricacies of the Pacific, I'll aim to present it in an easily digestible manner. I will delve into the Hebrew and Greek translations of the word Yahweh to pinpoint the earliest known instance of its translation. Whenever the Hebrew word for God's personal name, YHWH, appears, it is systematically substituted with the term Lord in English translations. This consistency with over 4,000 uses can be relied upon. Reviewing multiple English versions, including those of Wycliffe and Tyndale, all consistently employ Lord for the translation of God's name. This practice was established early on and continued through subsequent English translations, creating a precedent for the use of a title instead of God's revealed name. To uncover the origin of this translation pattern, a historical journey is required. English Bible translations reach back to the time before the Reformation, coinciding with the development of the printing press. The earliest well-known English translations, such as the Wycliffe and Tyndale Bibles, maintain the tradition of translating God's name YHWH as Lord. Upon this realization, it becomes apparent that the usage of Lord for God's name was established in the earliest English Bibles. To delve even further into the origin of this practice, a more extended exploration of historical sources is necessary. So, let's explore the origins of the two earliest English Bibles, delving into whether Tyndale and Wycliffe initiated a novel approach or followed existing translations. This investigation takes us through intriguing paths as we examine their divergences. The Wycliffe Bible, regarded as the inaugural English Bible dating back to 1382, employed Old English where heaven was written as Hohen and utilized the term Lord to translate God's name YHWH. However, the Wycliffe Bible did not rely on the original biblical languages. Instead, it was a translation from another translation, the Old Latin Vulgate. Our exploration will soon extend to the Vulgate to ascertain if this is where the tradition of substitution began. The Vulgate, a highly influential translation from 382 AD, that served the Western Roman Empire for over a millennium, utilized Dominus, the Latin word for master or lord. This practice of using Lord in translations extends back to the 300s, showcasing its historical continuity. Tyndale's translation takes us on a distinctive path compared to Wycliffe, leading us back to the original languages. Completed after the invention of the printing press and the sudden availability of Greek manuscripts, thanks to Erasmus, Tyndale's Bible skips over errors in the Old Latin version and returns to the clear, original sources, the Hebrew for the Old Testament and the Greek for the New Testament. This raises the question of whether Tyndale found this usage in the original Hebrew manuscripts or if other translations, such as Wycliffe's earlier English translation, the Vulgate, or the Septuagint, influenced his decision. Let's delve into the intriguing history of the Greek Septuagint and the complexities surrounding the translation of God's personal name. The Greek Septuagint, a significant translation of the Old Testament, was widely used during Jesus' time. Originally written in Koine Greek, the New Testament quoted or alluded to the Old Testament about 300 times, with approximately 2/3 of these references tracing back to the Septuagint translation. Upon examining this Greek translation, completed around 132 BC, we discover a surprising consistency. They, too, used Lord rather than God's name. This alignment with the English Bible's use of Lord raises questions about the origin of this tradition and whether it was misguided. Despite Tyndale having access to the Hebrew text and utilizing Yahweh YHWH, the tradition of using Lord persisted. To unravel this mystery, we turn our gaze to the Hebrews themselves. Gesenius notes that the later Hebrews, influenced by a false interpretation of certain laws or adhering to an old superstition, considered the name Yahweh so holy that it shouldn't even be pronounced. From these, we can identify the difficulty both Hebrews and Greeks had trying to translate the letters and settled on Lord. Whereas in the Pacific, the letters Y, H, W, and H are a lot easier to pronounce. The meaning of the name has been interpreted variously as I am. He, that is, he who makes that which has been made. As the name of the Supreme Being was considered too holy to be spoken, the letters Y, H, W, and H were used to remind one to say the word Adonai or Lord in place of the God's name. Where the Mediterranean Atlantic translation falls short, The Pacific has all the answers for this, just by following this one coin from 2,400 years ago that has the Moai head from Easter Island on it. There's another coin that was minted around the 4th century with the letters I, A, and W, which give the sound E or. In the vast expanse of the Pacific, the script unfurls its secrets, revealing a profound resonance when translated into English. I will give the concise version. Inserts are taken from the University of Victoria's website when referencing E. Hall. He is the core of all gods, none excel him. Greater than all other gods. Everlasting, he knows not death. Parent of the heavens and of their different realms. The parentless self, all his acts, his thoughts, and his governments all are enduring, all are firm, all are complete, all are immovable. He is the source of all knowledge, thought, reflection, memories. And all things are planned by him, who sees all but is not seen, and the crown to the heavens and is the most sacred. Since Yahweh is from the Pacific, it makes sense why the name of God in the Bible was changed. The clues I had to get me here are the Yahweh coin 2,400 years old, with the Easter Island head and the letters which are not in the Greek or Hebrew alphabet. Then most recent Abraxas coin from 400 AD with the letters I, A, and W on it, with the common use of the phonetic sounds, carried me into the Pacific, where I was able to find all the answers quite easily. E. Hall. Could you believe Yahweh is from the Pacific? Holy heckler, I done it again. What ship was E. Hall using to travel the ocean 7,000 years ago when the Tower of Babel was been built? There is one ship that has no records of the inventor and is considered a ghost ship or the pirate ship, and that is the Brigantine. But the history records say the Brigantine was built in 17th century, but why is there no inventor to receive the credit? There are inventors named for every other invention except for the Brigantine ship and is steeped in mystery. Could this ship originally belong to the people of the Pacific prior to European age of discovery? It is plausible, as Europeans never invented the boat. They discovered one that drifted ashore, and that's where European sea voyage began. As for the people in the Pacific, they were far more advanced in technology than Europe was by at least 1,000 years. There is so much evidence to prove this. The pyramids are in the Pacific, the advancement of technology in Asia, metallurgy and welding metals was used throughout the Pacific during the invention of the wheel in Europe. It was a Sumerian that shown them the wheel during Bronze Age. There is medicine history in Asia of 4,000 years, and so much more. While I was in the Pacific, I began to study ancient maps, and I came across a few maps with problems, where no one solved them or bothered to really look at them. First was the Piri Reis map, where it actually shows Australia's Northern Territory and the Irrawaddy River in Burma. Not Antarctica or South America, Africa, etc. It was definitely Australia, drawn in 1513, where Piri Reis described the country to be in ruins. Why did he say it was in ruins? And what was in ruins? Was it Darwin Harbour or nearby? The other was I found New Zealand drawn on the Salamanca Merciator map from 1550. When I add all of these together, some things are not right. Again, where is the ship E. Hall had, which was used to travel the ocean 7,000 years ago when the Tower of Babel had been built? What I can understand is there was a ship throughout the Pacific over 1,300 years ago that could carry 700 to 1,000 people. Then, in the 17th century, all brigantine ships which have no inventor made the journey to America's New Jersey, where hundreds were destroyed. Europe says they weren't in the Pacific during the 1500s, but the maps that come from Europe show Australia and New Zealand drawn, possibly copied from earlier versions of maps in the 1400s. So what really happened in the Pacific when Europe finally got a boat capable of getting past the Atlantic Ocean? It seems as if this is a case of trying to get rid of evidence and cover it up, and because the King of England and the Vatican Library have restricted access, answers need to be found in the books of history. But whoever it was, or is, they are trying to cover up and erase thousands of years of history in the Pacific, and it seems they are using witchcraft to do it. I will stop here. Thanks for watching.